Peace. Good morning to you. It's Friday morning, December the 23rd, and it is a day that is going to be good for you. I'm going to claim it. If you don't claim it for yourself, I'll claim it for you. For you. So that's what we're going to do today. I will claim it and tell you today is your day. Today is going to be a good day. Today is going to be a day that you can actually create something good for yourself, great for yourself. I know it's cold. I know here in Central Texas, it is cold, like freezing cold. Like, is this really Texas cold? That's how cold it is right now. Um, yeah, the weather is going to do what it's going to do. Right now, it is 12 degrees, like 12 degrees outside, like chilly, like frozen chilly outside. I don't have no other way to say it. It is Lord have mercy cold. That's how cold it is. It's Lord have mercy cold. All right, Miss Overstreet, I appreciate you for being here. We also going to claim we gonna claim it together. All right, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna claim it together. So I got a question for you, Miss Overstreet. As you can see right here, do you operate in your authentic you? That's the question that is proposed right now. Is do you operate in your authentic you? Like, you can answer that question. I think what we're going to do here is create this dialogue to where we are going to be able to send and receive energy, send and receive information from me to you and from you to me, uh, as we continue to go on throughout this digital relationship that we're building right now as a people. Because a lot of times we don't build intentional relationships in order for us to create something new or something better for us in our lives. And it starts with what we do in the morning, actually. I mean, yeah, we can start yesterday and things of that nature, but a lot of times it really starts in the morning. Like, it starts what we do right now that can then pour into whatever we're going to do for the remaining of the day. So, yeah, we're going to tap into that. So, like always, I should have had this prep. So, my bad. I apologize. Pardon self. So like always, we do on Fridays, we give thanks and conversation and communication with those who listen to it on the podcast distribution. I'm trying to get it ready, so that's why I'm looking down, things of that nature. So we're gonna tap in and communicate with those who have been listening to us from a podcast distribution. What does that mean? The podcast distribution is iHeartRadio, is Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Podbean, what's another one? iHeartRadio, Spotify, as well as Anchor. So all those who listen to it on those individual podcast distribution platforms, like always on Fridays, we give thanks and we say thank you. So as you're listening to me, from the sound of my voice, because you're not seeing me. If you want to see me, those who listen to it at podcast distribution, go to YouTube, type in consistency is currency, and you're able to listen to the YouTube channel as well. So we're going to say thank you as we tap into those who's listening. So again, like always, especially for those who are in the US, we say thank you. India, thank you. South Africa, we appreciate you. Germany, thank you. Italy, Nigeria, Puerto Rico, Kenya, United Kingdom, Canada, South Korea, Indonesia, Singapore, thank you. France, thank you. Netherlands, Pakistan, we say thank you. Russia, thank you. United Arab, thank you. Australia, thank you. Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Nepal, Morocco, Mexico, New Zealand, thank you. Um, Ireland, thank you. Turkey, Slovenia, thank you. Libya, Dominican Republic, thank you. Austria, thank you. U.S. Virgin Islands, thank you. Thailand, Ethiopia, Malaysia, thank you. Belgium, Philippines, and Latvia, thank you. Large percent of our listeners is on Apple Podcasts, which is 70%. That's a lot. Apple Podcasts, other ones, web browsers, Spotify, and other. Our gender is right now more male than female listeners, but it's still, I appreciate you sisters for listening. Male is at 56% this week. So again, we thank you for that. Age-wise, The highest percent, 33% of our listeners is between 28 to 34. Then 22% of listeners go from 35 to 44. Then it goes from 23 to 27, and then 45 to 59. So we definitely thank and appreciate you for listening to it thus far, especially in those age groups and things like that. Good morning, Miss Teresa. We appreciate you for being here, and thank you, like always. So we're going to go ahead and get involved with what we're going to be talking about, which is the authentic you. Again, the question that is proposed is, do you operate in your authentic self? If the answer is yes, just put yes. If the answer is sometimes I do, or I can do better at it, then you put that in the chat as well, because right now, can you be honest with your authentic self? That's another one. Can you be honest with your authentic self? We're going to be pulling that out and adding that on to you and what you're listening to and how you're listening to it as well. Peace. Good morning, Dr. Jennings. We thank you for being here, like always, especially the consistent ones. You know, consistency is currency. You know, it's always good to have those consistent listeners. Oh, what is that? Anyway, we appreciate it like always. So we're going to tap into the lesson when we're doing today. And I don't know what happened to the background music. You know, I want to add just a little bit of jazz to it. Yeah, this is all right. This will work. So let's go ahead and jump. So your authentic you. Like always, you're going to get definitions. You're going to get inversions on the definitions. And you're going to get the etymology. Today, you got the etymology. I had to add it because when I learned more about the root word of authentic, it blew my mind. It was a real aha moment for me. And I was like, yeah, I got to put this out there. It's when you hear it, you're going to understand, like, okay, that's different. I didn't know that. I didn't even think about that. You ready? All right, let's go. All right. So the very first definition, before we jump, go ahead and take this live, share it on your timeline or in the Facebook group, because there's a lot more people that need to be operating in their authentic self. Like, for whatever reason, they're not operating in their authentic self. It's up to them. Because when you begin to operate in your authentic self, there is a newness that you carry. Like, there's a newness on how you carry yourself. There's different places that you go, because the old you and the authentic you, they cannot dwell in the same place. Let me say that again. The old you and the authentic you cannot dwell in the same place. Like, I want you to absorb that and understand what that really means. And I want you to understand that for yourself. Remember, the old you and the authentic you cannot dwell in the same place, because it is going to feel so weird for you where you are. You're going to feel out of place. You're going to understand that I don't think I should be here, and you're not going to compromise where you are by trying to stay there, because the authentic you is going to tell you to get yourself up and leave. Like, no disrespect to anybody else in the room, no disrespect to why you went, but the authentic you is going to tell you that it is time to go. Get your keys, get your bag, and go. I'm going to leave that alone. That can go in so many different directions. All right, so it says the first definition of authentic: of undisputed origin, genuine. Of undisputed origin, genuine. And the inversion on this is red over white. Now, if the inversion on this for you is white over red, then you put that and then you drop your own, how you see that as the definition that you want to focus on. But the one I'm focusing on right now for this one is red over white. of undisputed origin. So for me, of undisputed origin, that means you know that it came from you. Like, you know that it's about the you that you are. Like, undisputed, like boxing, an undisputed champion, that means that that champion is not compromised by what they do or where they're going, because the facts speak for itself. The proof is in their record. If they're 50 and 0, 15 and 0, 30 and 0, 25 and 0, it is the undisputed champion of that particular weight class. But when are you going to be undisputed within yourself? When are you going to be undisputed with that thing that's coming, that has been the origin of you? Like, if it's peace, allow that peace to be undisputed champion of your life. If it is joy, allow that joy to be undisputed, originating from you. Because the person that's going to really make you happy is really you. Someone can only compliment your happiness. It is a compliment because it's the origin of it should come from you. A lot of times we want other people to celebrate our victories, but we don't even celebrate it ourselves. Like, how can you want someone to celebrate with you, but you don't even celebrate it for yourself? That's backwards. The celebration should come from you. Hell, you should be taking you out to lunch in celebration of some of the things that you have gone through this year. The undisputed victories that you have won this year. Like, go treat yourself. You deserve it. And because you deserve it, live it. And be the undisputed origin of your own happiness. Be the undisputed origin of your own peace. And live in that moment. Because there's going to be more moments. And as those more moments happen and you are walking in victory, that's when you become undisputed. Like, I walk in victory every day. Even during the times to where it seems as if everything around me is not working out, I still walk in victory because I'm learning something. When you're going to be undisputed? It might not be today. It's okay, but acknowledge that the authentic you has to be undisputed. You have to be your own champion. Can you champion you? You spend too much time championing everybody else. I'm going to leave that alone. I bet. The next definition, it says worthy of acceptance or belief as conforming to or based on fact. And the inversion on this is white over red. Like, you're worthy of the acceptance. Like, you need to accept it for you. Not someone else's acceptance, not how someone else view you, not how someone else want to communicate about you, not how someone else say things about you, but you are worthy of your very own acceptance. Like, there should be more black boys who hear this and more black girls who hear this. You are worthy of your very own acceptance. Like, can you accept you even during a time when everybody else have something bad to say about you? Good morning, Mr. Crawford. Mr. Crawford, you're worthy of your own acceptance. Like, say that to yourself the next time you look in the mirror. I am worthy of my acceptance. That's like a self-prophetic moment of saying, I'm worthy of my own acceptance. Not worrying or being concerned about what others are saying. Like, I am worthy of my own acceptance. and I accept who I am. Now, there's going to be moments to where you're going to feel like you could have done something better or feel like you could have done something different, but you have to accept yourself in that moment. Look at what it is that you could have done different, learn from what it was that you did, and then you are worthy of more acceptance because you're going to look at it and learn from it and then acknowledge what it is, and then you're going to go and do great things. But you have to understand that you are worthy of acceptance. You are. But do you assume that responsibility of acceptance as well? Because you're only going to acknowledge things that are worthy of you when you assume the responsibility of it. Like, I accept being worthy of my acceptance. I got you, Miss Scott. Good morning. Welcome back. You're worthy. You're worthy of your acceptance. Like, put that on your timeline today. Make sure you give me my my respects. Tag me in it. Let me see, because I want to see what the comments look like. Like, I am worthy of my own acceptance. All right. So the next definition, I love this one. I'm not going to dig deep into this one because it's going to tie into the etymology. This definition, it says, of undisputed origin or authorship. Of undisputed origin or authorship. Yeah, I'm just going to say that and I'm going to move on. But I want you to remember this, because when we go into the etymology, it's going to create that aha moment. Like, man, I get it. Of undisputed origin or authorship. The inversion on this is red over white. Undisputed authorship. So now let's go into the etymology. It's going to tie in. All right. The root word for, well, one of the root words for authentic is Latin. Now, I know I'm going to chew these words up. Cool. Just don't throw the darts. If you do, I hope you miss. The first root word is Latin, which is authenticus. Cool. Latin ain't my second language. If it's yours, then say it to yourself. And the second root word is from Greek, is authentikos. Sure. Which means origin, genuine. Principle from the authentes, one acting on one's own authority, from auto, which is self. Like, your book is being written by everyone else, not you. That's when you're not operating in your authentic self. Your book has been written by everyone else and not you. Because you are the what? The author. Now, remember the other definition. It says undisputed authorship. The authentic should be coming from you because you are the author. Because your authentic self, it can't be like everyone else. It has to be like you. Become more of your own self and watch how your book is being written, because now the autobiography is now more like you than ever before and less like everybody else. Because you're a lot more authentic. You will become the greatest author of your time when you are more like you. You're worthy of acceptance because you're the author. It's you. Have you read somebody's autobiography? You're like, oh man, I learned more about this person after I read the autobiography. But what are you going to say about you? Like, what are you going to write about you? Can you write about you and feel proud about the things that you've said about you? You are the originator. You are the authentic piece in your life. It should come from you. You are the author and the finisher of your peace, the author and the finisher of your joy, the author and the finisher of your happiness. But you're waiting for a lot of other people to tell your story. We shouldn't be telling your story only after you passed. We shouldn't tell your story only after you have gone on and transcended out of this natural life. That's not the time when we should be only hearing about you and your story. Like, you're living, like, why don't you live? Do more, live more, understand that the author has to come from you because it's coming from the original essence of you. All right. So, the authentic you. So, we're going to take this deep dive and we're going to enjoy the rest of our day because we got a very good weekend coming up for some. All right, so let's take this dive. Put the word authentic in the chat and let's tap into the authentic side of us. Why? Because you're worthy of acceptance. I like that. Worthy of acceptance. That might be Monday. Okay. Let me write that down. Worthy of acceptance. All right. So that's going to be Monday. Worthy of acceptance. However it's going to play out, it's going to play out on Monday. You'll see it. So if you're here right now, make sure you come back Monday at 7:30. We're going to be talking about worthy of acceptance. Because sometimes I don't think a lot of us feel that we're worthy of things. You are. You have to claim it. You have to assume it. You have to hold on to it. All right, so let's go ahead into this deep dive. So, operating in your authentic you is really like a powerful human experience because you're operating with a connection. And I want you to understand that because when you're operating in your authentic you, you're operating with a connection, like operating into your inner you or your inner soul. Because you're not challenged by what other people are saying, because it's you talking to you, having those inner conversations and listening to the intuition that you have within inside of you. When you're operating in your authentic self, because it's connected to your dreams, connected to your time. It's connected to, even to your insecurities. It's connected to your truth, your words, your happies and your fears, your joy. But it's also within your struggles, right? Those hard times, those setbacks, the depression, the anxieties. Because sometimes you're going to have to disconnect. Like, for real. How many of you out there have ever had to disconnect before you were able to reconnect? Before you were able to go back into a situation, you had to disconnect in order for you to look at it before you approached it. Because sometimes you're going to have to disconnect and have a personal conversation with you and ask yourself those honest questions like, what are you doing? Have you ever had that conversation with you? Like, man, boy, what are you doing? Like, you know, that didn't make sense the last time you said it. You know, that didn't make sense the last time you went there. You know, that didn't make sense the last time you felt that way, but you said it. But now you're you're dealing with the repercussions of you saying it, knowing that's what you wasn't supposed to say or what you shouldn't have said. That's the authentic you talking to you, because you're going to have to speak over yourself, because your authentic you deserves it. The authentic you is actually waiting for you to execute. Why? Because you're worthy of the acceptance. I think a lot of times we shy away from our authentic self for whatever reason. It could be low self-esteem. It could be they used to pick on me when I was little. It could be my mom used to tell me shut up all the time. Now I'm still in my 30s and 40s and 50s and I still don't know how to speak. Unplug a little bit. Disconnect, at least for a day, and look at you in the mirror and tell you, I'm worthy of my own acceptance. I'm not worried about whether you accept me or not. I accept me. I'm walking in my authentic truth, and I'm walking in my authentic way. And then reconnect. Because we have been so connected to everything but our souls and ourselves. And because we're so connected to everything but our souls and ourselves, we have been disconnected from our peace because we were so connected to everyone else's request. I'm going to say that again. We have been so disconnected from our peace because we were so connected with what everybody else request was. Like who they want you to be, what they want you to do, where they want you to go. Everybody else's requests about you have become so much about you that you have been disconnected from you, because you're trying to live up to everybody's request that you forgot about your own. Like, stop allowing others' requests to disconnect you from your peace. Because when you allow other people's requests to disconnect you from your peace, you don't even feel like yourself anymore. Like, have you ever been in that place? That's a hard place. Because self-esteem comes to play, self-doubt comes to play. Because you're going to be kicking yourself down the street, trying to figure out, how did I get here? How did I get in this moment? How did I get in this space? That's because you were trying to connect to everyone else's request that you forgot that your own peace is even worthy, or a lot more worthy than everyone else's request. That's when you begin to see, like, this is not me. That's not even how I operate. But who that you are will know the who that you are is much greater than anybody else's request. Be authentic to your will, and your will power you along the way. You know what fake people look like, just like you know when you're not acting authentic too. It's easy for you to point out fake people. Can you point out your fake responses to other people? Like, you know what? That's not even, that wasn't even fair for me to sugarcoat that. Like, that's not your authentic you. Like, if your authentic you is transparent and trustworthy and genuine then why sugarcoat the conversation just because you didn't want to hurt the other's feelings? But that's probably what that person needed to hear, as long as you understand the content and how you delivered it. You can still hold true to your authentic self. It's not challenged by someone else's emotions, but it's also challenged the authenticity of you. Have you been fake to yourself this year? Just a question. I mean, you don't have to answer it publicly, but ask yourself that. Like, how authentic have you been to you this year? Have you lost yourself along the way? If you have, you have. If you haven't, you haven't. Draw nigh to your authentic self and watch how much your life will begin to align with where you're going. Because my authenticity is in direct alignment with my destiny. And yours too. I pray. I pray that your authenticity is in direct alignment with your destiny, with what you say, with what you do, with where you go, with how you act, with how you react. As long as you're authentic and you understand what you're saying, how you deliver it, the content in what you're saying, then you're still holding on to your authentic self. All right, that's enough. Have you been authentic enough for you this year? If you have, man, keep going. Keep doing it and learn along the way that you are worthy of the acceptance of you. I thank you for being here. I appreciate you for just being in this moment and allowing me to communicate to me outwardly for you, where you can hear it. If there's something that resonated with you, go ahead and put it into the chat, because as it comes out of you, you are the author of your conversations, and you're just as well as you're the author of your comments. Be original, be authentic, and be the best you that you can be, not what others request of you to be. Because remember, if you're so deep into everyone's request, it disconnects you from your peace. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, so man, I appreciate y'all for being here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. I'm Mr. R2. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy y'all weekend. I see you on Monday, and we'll be talking about what? Worthy of acceptance. Peace.